Graham. I hope you're hearing me all right. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. I wanted to address some of the questions that came up. I mentioned I would address some of the questions. So one person asked me why I don't understand the mechanisms behind behind practices that reduce anxiety. I don't understand the mechanisms. And she said she understood forward bends, but not the rest of it. And then somebody else wrote and said something about how do you know how to put together twists and forward bends to create a certain effect on the nervous system? So they're kind of similar questions. And here's one of the things I want to say about that. I feel sometimes that yoga kind of got sort of squished into the fitness industry box when it got translated over to the United States, at least in the 90s. Like in the 80s and 70s, it was more yoga, but yoga-y, you know what I mean? And then in the 90s and the early 2000s, it really got translated into the fitness industry. And so in the fitness industry, like if you want to become a trainer or you want to, learn to do different things, there's many different trainings, many different levels of trainings and certifications, and some of them are a weekend long. So there are yoga trainings that you can go to that are a weekend long, It's good that we started to develop standards and we have this 200-hour standard. But the point I'm trying to get to here is that learning how to put poses together the way that I'm showing you and learning how to sequence for the nervous system is not a sort of overnight, I can answer this in a Facebook post thing. It really isn't. It really takes weeks and months and years to internalize the principles of practice, the principles of sequencing, and it's a training, so that's all I can say is like, if you really want to understand how to put this together, start with my 40-hour training or train with Gary at the American Vinny Yoga Institute. There's lots of good people out there teaching, not lots, there's a few good people out there teaching sequencing for the nervous system. There's tons of people teaching sequencing, biomechanical sequencing, but if you really want to get into sequencing for the nervous system, it's different, it's really different. And I hope today I can sort of get into that a little bit with you, just in terms of you experiencing it. And I would love you to leave a comment after the practice about how you feel, and maybe tomorrow jump back on and be like, hey, this is how I slept last night. Like, see if it works for you. It's not necessarily for everybody. Everybody has a different constitution. People are different doshas. There's different ways we need to think about the practices, of course, but there are some general rules. And so we're actually going to get a lot in today in 30 minutes to help us move towards that sleepier state, helping you sleep better tonight. Including some pranayama. So it might be just a little bit longer than a half an hour today, but I would love you to stay for it and let me know how it works for you. And thank you so much for being here. And those of you who have been here every day this week, you get a big gold star. Thank you for being here, because it's hard to show up and practice every day, and I really appreciate that you're being here. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to come back to our mats. And we're going to start with a little shaking it out. So when you're ready, come on back to your mat and let things wiggle and jiggle a little bit. You can kind of move around, groove around, let your arms shake out, bounce your knees a bit. Oh, one thing I didn't mention, you may have noticed a chair is here today. So feel free to grab a chair. At the end of practice, we're going to do either legs up the chair or legs up the wall, your choice. But if you have a chair close by and that feels more comfortable for you, then feel free. So just letting things shake out. And I also want to invite you to breathe in through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Maybe with an audible sigh. And do that again. Breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. So let's do a little gentle twisting here, side to side. You can give yourself a little tap in the back. I do go into some details about the neuroscience of sequencing in my 40-hour course. I know many of you have enrolled in that already, and so there's some learning there's some learning curve there. There's some things to get to know. And sometimes it's like doctors like Andrew Weil comes out with here's this pranayama practice 4, 7, 8, or you hear people say, oh, do square breathing 4, 4, 4, 4. To me, that represents a lack of training and knowledge about how to work with pranayama. It's a very, very sophisticated science. Yoga is a sophisticated practice. We have to stop treating it like it's something you can learn to do in a weekend. You know, even as the yoga field, the yoga world, we have to start doing that. Okay, I'll get off the soapbox and shake it out a little bit. So take a moment in your mountain pose and just come into stillness. How does your breath feel here? How does your body feel in this moment? Great. Okay, so we're going to start with a lateral bend. Separate your feet. Let your right hand come to your right leg. Left hand says hello. I think we did something similar. This one's a little different. So what we're going to do here is inhale and reach that left arm up and over as you pop your left heel up off the floor. And then when you exhale, lower it back down. And the right hand just rests. Okay, so inhale, reach up and over, pop that heel up. And then exhale and float back down. Good, one more time. Let your heel pop up. Stay here. When you exhale, just put your heel down. Turn your palm down. Feel that sensation through the side body. Take another breath as you reach from fingertips to heel. Exhale, belly works. One more time. And on your exhale, release out a bit. Take a break and pause and notice the sensations in the left side of your body. This is a lateral bend. You could call it Trikonasana, but it's a lateral bend. The left hand comes to the left leg or near the left leg. The right hand says hello. And on the inhale, we're going to do a lateral bend. Pop the heel up. Exhale, flip back down. Be very mindful, particularly if you have sacroiliac joint problems, that you go up more than over, right? You don't have to go over here. Exhaling back down. And this time, as you inhale up and over, stay. And then on the exhale, put your heel down. And on the inhale, reach through your fingers and your heel at the same time. It might be a little more up, that's okay. More vertical than lateral. Do one more breath here. And when you exhale, release it back down. Good. Just take a moment to pause and notice. Nice long breath. Let your feet come back towards each other. So here's what you can do next. You can put your hands on your hips or your back, whatever you like. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slide down your legs. Bend your knees a lot, almost like a squat. And when you inhale, lengthen your spine, float back up. Okay, do it again. This time, when you go down there, and your hands might just come to your thighs or your shins. They don't have to come to the floor. When you get down there, pause for 2 counts. And then float back up. Lengthen your spine to come up belly firm. Do it again. Exhale down, belly in. Lower your chin. Pause for 2. Lengthen back up. Last one. Exhale down. Pause for 2. And when you're ready, lengthen your spine, belly firm to come back up. And then just pause for a moment and see if you feel that downward moving, downward spiraling energy. Good, take another breath. Okay, so the invitation now is to use a blanket here to pad your knees. You're welcome to use a blanket because we're going to be doing a lunge. And actually, I think I'll turn to the side. And some people might want to skip this one if you have knee issues, okay? You're going to step the right foot forward, place both hands on your right thigh. As you inhale, lower your hips and fill up your chest, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, belly pushes you out of the pose, okay? Inhale, lower the hips, lengthen spine. You can lift your eyes a bit. Exhale, belly pushes you out. And if you like, do cactus for the next one with your arms. Pause for just a moment. Okay, this one we're going to stay in the pose for 3 breaths. You may want to do something else with your arms, like straighten them up. That's fine. Good, one more breath. And then as you're ready, release your arms down, back up. Good. Come to standing on your knees for just a moment. Find your breath. You're just getting into the psoas just a little bit here. Let go of some of that tension. So hands on your thighs as you inhale, lower, lift your chest. Exhale, back up, using your abdominal muscles to help you back up, okay? Let's do it again. Inhale, lower your hips, lengthen your spine. Exhale and draw the belly in and back up. We got 2 more times here. Taking your time. Go a little faster than me, a little slower. You can do cactus arms if you like the cactus arms. And this time stay in the pose for 2 or 3 breaths. Some folks like to pick up their back foot. I feel like we haven't done enough poses really to get there for me, but if you want to pick up your back foot, no problem. Belly works on your exhale. One more time. And use your exhale to back you up out of the pose and come back to standing up on your knees. Okay, and just take a moment in your mini mountain pose. Notice how your breath feels. And notice how your body feels. We're going to be doing Chakrabakasana. We're going to do a krama, which means breaking up into segments of the pose. And we'll do a little bit of breath work here too. So we've done this pose several times this week. Let me see, let's just move a little bit so I'm kind of in the center. So what we want to do here is start with an in-breath, lengthen your spine. Exhale back about 1/3 of the way, not all the way, about 1/3 of the way. And pause for 2 counts at the end of your breath. And then inhale forward again. And do that again. So you're just moving back slightly. Find the end of your breath and pause for 2 counts. Inhale forward. Now this time go back 2/3 of the way. Pause for 2 counts. Remember your elbows bend first. This isn't one of those keep your arms straight child's pose thing. It's a different pose. Elbows bend. 2 counts. Inhale forward. Now this time you're going to go back for 3 counts, all the way back, and then pause for 2 counts. Isn't that kind of interesting to take it in segments? Do it again. If you haven't done that before. Exhale all the way back and pause 2 counts. Do it one more time. Get all the way down there and pause. And this time, take a couple of breaths. So inhale, exhale completely. At the end of your exhale, just let 2, maybe 3 counts, and then inhale again. Exhale completely. Feel your belly draw in. 2 or 3 counts. One more time. It's just a very natural pause. Now when you finish that one, go ahead and slide forward on your belly. And I want to mention one of the most important principles of working with your breath in pranayama, in asana, is never ever push it. It should feel comfortable. It should have a comfortable feeling. Okay, so we're going to slide forward onto our bellies. You're going to take a moment there to rest and kind of tune into how you feel. Put hands under your forehead or your cheek if you like. Take a breath here. Okay, so what we're going to do next is just a simple cobra. Forehead to the floor, hands right by your chest. Pull your hands isometrically back. Inhale, curl your chest open. Pause. And release down. No, not a very long breath pause at all there. Just a tiny little pause at the top. Again, inhale. Curl up. The other day I mentioned it's like when you're putting sheets on your bed and you let the sheet go up in the air and then there's a little pause before it starts to float back down. That's kind of what it feels like. Last one. Take your time. And when you finish your cobra, please go ahead and roll over onto your back. And you can bring your feet up flat. Arms by your sides. And just pause here for a moment. See how you feel. After just doing a couple of asanas, we've only been doing asanas for like 11 minutes. So sometimes it's really good to recognize that 11 minutes or 10 minutes of asanas does something to change your nervous system, right? Just that amount, because so many times we tell ourselves we don't have time for practice. Do you have 11 minutes in your day? That's a good question, right? Okay, so here's the next one we're going to do, Apanasana. Hands come over the tops of your kneecaps, fingertips pointing towards your ankles. That's a very intentional position of the arms. And the reason is it makes you use your abdominal muscles more than your arms as you do the pose. Now what we're going to do is take a breath in here. As you exhale, draw the knees in towards your chest. And pause. 1, 2. Inhale away. Do that again. Exhale, knees to the chest and pause. At the very end of your breath, 2 counts. Now, let's challenge ourselves a little bit. Inhale away. Exhale, knees to the chest, and at the end of your exhale, you're going to pause for 3. Challenge, but not push. That's a fine line, right? Do it again. Exhale the knees in and pause for 3. We're going to do 2 more. This time, pause for 4. All the way, let all that breath out. 4. Now, if at any time, do 1 more. If at any time you feel like you're holding your breath out too long, then just breathe. So there's no Olympics here. This is just about you and your relationship to your nervous system, not about who can hold their breath the longest, right? It's not a contest. And as you're ready, bring your feet back down to the floor and arms by your sides. Do you notice it? Do you feel it's called Lungana. Do you feel the Lungana? That little shift? Energy kind of moving down. Next we're going to do a twist, and so here's your choice. You can bring your feet up like this, as long as your back's okay. If you got low back stuff, please keep your feet on the floor and twist left. So I'm just going to start with my feet on the floor today because I feel like doing it. Feet a little bit wider. And so here's what we're going to do. Breathe in, normal in-breath. As you exhale, knees go to the right, head turns to the left. Pause. 1, 2. Inhale back up. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right, and pause. 1, 2. Inhale back up. Exhale, knees to the right, head to the left, and pause. You know what we're going to do now, right? For 3. 1, 2, 3. That might be too long or too short for you. You can modify it. Inhale up. Doesn't have to be 1 second. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right, and pause. 1, 2, 3. Inhale back up. Exhale, knees right, head left, and now we're going to pause for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale back up. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right, and pause for 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale back up. Now this time take your knees over to the right and to your head to the left and stay there. And we're going to take about 3 breaths, maybe 4. Totally your breathing pace, okay? So where does your inhale feel like it is right now? And where's your exhale? And the request here is at the end of your exhale, you pause for 4. If 4 is too long, don't do it. Do 2, do 3 even. Or skip the breathing altogether and just enjoy the position, that's fine. When you can get to the breath, that's when you start to make a really powerful impact on the autonomic nervous system. So the breath in, normal breath in, normal breath out, pause for 3 or 4 counts. When you finish the one that you're on, we'll do the other side. So inhale up. Exhale to the other side. Soften or close your eyes if you like. Your head can turn to the right. And now you got about 3 or 4 breaths here, right? Each exhale, the end of the exhale, there's a pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in again. Do it your own breathing pace a couple more times. And when you finish, the pause that you're on, inhale the knees up. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. To do a little counter pose there, a little balance. That's what we just did. And next what we're gonna do, roll to the side and come back up. So you can either pull your mat over to the wall, which I'm not gonna do because it just would be a little awkward with the camera. Or you can put a chair, the edge of your mat. In either case, you do want to come into this pose on your side. So you slide your butt up to the chair or the wall and then roll so that your legs are on the wall or up the chair. So my intention is to stay here for about 5 minutes. And I'm not going to stay there, obviously, but my intention is for you to stay there for about 5 minutes. And I will guide you through just a little bit of interoceptive awareness. And then I have planned then we'll do Shavasana for like 2 minutes. And then I have a pranayama practice after that. Okay? All right. So get comfortable. This is the pose. You know, I have so many students over the years who have used this pose to completely transform their sleeping issues. Like, to do this pose every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before bed can really change your sleep. It's really significantly. And it has to do with what's going on with the baroreceptors and the carotid artery and the heart and how they change the blood pressure, but let's just experience it for now, okay? So soften or close your eyes. Make sure you're warm enough. Notice how your body feels after some of that breathing we were doing. And don't worry about your breath right now. Right now, you just let the intrinsic, the unconscious processes of the body take over and let go. You know, let yourself feel the effects of the practice. Can you get a little softer in your feet and your ankles? Can you soften your knees a bit and your thighs? Can you feel the weight of your femur bones, your thighs, and your bones? Can you feel that weight kind of sinking into the pelvis and letting the pelvis, letting the low back and the sacrum just sort of open and spread, soften if you like. Notice how the exhale allows your low back to get a little bit more softness into the earth, a little bit more grounded. What if you could connect your kidneys and your adrenaline glands to the earth as if it was kind of like a battery charger, just gently charging you up again, gently restoring and recharging your batteries. Begin to feel your awareness moving up your spine and the musculature along your spine. muscles in your chest. Can you allow your arms to soften a bit more? Soften your throat. Let go of the muscles in your face. If you like, you can stay here for about 2 more minutes. If you prefer, roll to your side if you've got your legs up the wall and just come flat to Shavasana. Or you can just take your legs off the chair and tuck them underneath. Notice the state of your nervous system. And allow yourself to let go completely. Please take a slightly deeper breath. So if you prefer not to do pranayama, that's just fine. You can just rest. And I would like to encourage you to experience this practice, especially if you haven't done pranayama with me before, because it may be quite different than what you've done, what kind of breathing practices you've done in the past. It may be quite different. So you can take your time. We're going to do a practice called Viloma Krama. Take your time, bring your feet up flat, roll to your side. Find a comfortable seat. You may choose to put a blanket down. I always say when you're finding your meditation seat or your pranayama seat, you want to make a throne. Should be really comfortable. And also you have a chair right here, so feel free to hop up in your chair if that's going to be the most comfortable place for you. Best to sit up in your chair and not sit back in it, right? Because you want to be able to expand the whole of the rib cage. When you get comfortable, start counting your in-breath to 4 and your out-breath to 4. Do that a couple of times, or just kind of waiting for everybody to get comfortable. Inhale to 4, exhale to 4. Very comfortable. Now the one thing I would request that you do here Just make sure you're engaging the area between your pubic bone and your navel as you exhale. And that's going to be important as we get into the krama. So make sure you can have some control over those muscles. The end of the inhale, you let that contraction go. In the beginning of the exhale, you re-engage gently. 20%, 15% of your strength, not 100%. You know, this isn't about, getting abs of steel. It's about breathing. Now, after you've done 4-4 a couple of times, switch to 4-6. 4 counts in. 2, 3, 4, 6 counts out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do that a few times. For some of you, that's going to be too long, so speed the numbers up a bit. Everybody has to find their own pace. Breath should always feel comfortable. Patanjali said, smooth and subtle. Smooth and subtle. Comfortable. Breathing should always be comfortable. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. And after you've done that a couple of times, the next ratio you may want to move towards is 6 counts in, 8 counts out. So it's okay if you speed up the numbers a bit, especially if you haven't done this before. Use the whole 360-degree breath. So you breathe into your chest, your solar plexus, your pelvis, everything breathes. And you exhale from your pelvis to your solar plexus to your chest. Real simple. Chest, solar plexus, belly on the inhale. Pelvis, belly, solar plexus, chest on the exhale. 6 counts in, 8 counts out. You feel like that feels kind of comfortable now? Do one more just to kind of get the hang of it. 6 in, 8 out. Now we're going to go to 6 in, 2 pause, 8 out. Inhale for 6. Pause for 2. Exhale for 8. Do that again. How'd that feel? 6 counts in, pause for 2. Exhale starts at the pelvic floor and moves up to your nose. Count of 8. Now, 6 counts in, 2 counts pause, 9 counts out. How does that feel? Some of you are going, oh, this is so boring. I could breathe much deeper than that. Okay, just give it a chance. Eventually you could do like 8 in and 12 out. You could always bump the ratio. It's just a ratio. You can bump it up if you want. I like to keep them kind of simple. 6 in, 2 pause, 9 out. Now we're going to start the krama. Okay, you ready? 6 counts in. This is one of my favorite things to do when I can't sleep. 6 counts in. Pause for 2. Exhale to 3, just from your lower belly, and pause. Exhale 3 more from your solar plexus. I'm using my hands to demonstrate. If it helps, do that. Pause. And then the final 3. And probably you already had all the air out. That's okay. Or maybe not enough. That's okay. It's normal when you first start. So inhale for 6. Pause for 2. Exhale 3. Lower belly, pelvis, pause. Till you get to your navel. Then another third of your breath from the solar plexus. Pause. 3 more counts from the chest. Pause. Breathe into 6. Pause for 2. That makes the carbon dioxide dilate the blood vessels a bit. Exhale 3. Lower belly. Pause just for a moment. Exhale 3 more. Solar plexus. Pause. Exhale all of it out. Inhale to 6. Pause for 2. Do it again. 3 counts. Lower belly. Pause. 3 counts. Solar plexus. Pause. 3 counts. Chest. Pause. Breathe into 6. We're going to do this like 3 more times, okay? So if you need to take a free breath anywhere, go ahead. Pause for 2. Exhale to 3. Lower belly. Pause for 2. Exhale 3 more, solar plexus. Pause for 2. Last 3, chest. Oh, did I say pause for 2? Yeah, it's fine to pause for 2. I was just saying, like, usually just a little pause, but pausing for 2 is fine too. Inhale to 6. Pause for 2 on the retention. And then exhale to 3. Lower belly, just a little pause. Maybe 2, maybe 1. Pause solar plexus. Apologize for that confusion. Pause chest. And then inhale to 6. Pause for 2. 1 more 9 count exhale. Lower belly. Just a little pause for 3. 3 in your solar plexus. Little pause. 3 in your chest. Little pause. Breathe into 6. Pause for 2. Exhale to 9. Just let it all go out. Do it again. Breathe in for 6. Pause for 2. Exhale to 9. Breathe into 6. No pause. Breathe out to 6. Do that again. Breathe into 6. No pause. Breathe out to 6. Now, free breath. Now, this is where we do the interoceptive part, where you just notice, how did your nervous system respond to that? And if you feel a little jacked up right now, a little bit like out of sorts, dizzy, anything like that, that's telling you you pushed it. You pushed it too hard. If you have a sense of like smooth, contentment, sleepy maybe, rested, that's what we're going for. So if you pushed your breath too hard, that's okay. Everybody does that in the beginning. They haven't done the ratios, but everybody pushes their breath. So, you did it, so you try it again. Next time make it a little more subtle. And this is Viloma Krama. That's what the name of the pranayama is. There's so many pranayamas. And this is one that I just love for helping to fall asleep at night. Now, tomorrow I'll be sending you the stick figure cheat sheets for all the practices we did this week. Only if you signed up. If you didn't sign up, I don't have your email address, so I can't send it to you. So if you want to get the stick figure cheat sheets, please sign up. The link is in the description over on Facebook. If you're on Instagram, you gotta hop over to Facebook. Or worst case scenario, send us an email and we'll put you on the list manually, but it's a little easier for us if you get the link and sign up, frankly. And our email is support@settledyoga.com. I want to thank you for being here with me for this practice. This week it's been really fun for me to get to share with some new folks. And I also encourage you to go back, look at the practices. We're going to keep them up until October 4th. October 10th. So you are welcome to do the practices anytime you want over the next couple of weeks. And I would also encourage you to take a look at the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society. Every Wednesday I do new live videos, and we have different themes, and we're really digging into the science and the practice of resilience. So I would love you to join me over there. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.